Emotions. You're so emotional. You hear people being told that. Are you emotional? How many emotions are there? Do we all have them? We do. There are actually 11 emotions. Stay until the end to get an introduction on these 11 emotions that we all have, all of us. For those who haven't met me before, my name is Anisia Mwaniki. I'm a lawyer by profession, but on this channel, I talk about self-knowledge, personality development, getting to know ourselves the way we are, understanding human nature so that we are comfortable with that self-knowledge. We get very liberated when we can really point out our strengths, our weaknesses as they are objectively, so that we don't live in denial. I'm not going to go into the philosophy and the theology of this, although that is an area that those are areas that I've studied, but just to get to know ourselves. There are actually 11 emotions, five with each with an opposite, and one that is on its own, which is anger. Anger is the one that doesn't have an opposite, but otherwise, the 11 emotions are actually made up of five, each with an opposite. Then they are grouped into two broadly. Yeah. By the way, when we talk about emotions, sometimes they are referred to as feelings or passions. Yeah. So the first grouping of these emotions that we have are what we call concupiscible. Those are emotions that come to play when you are faced with good things, pleasurable things. Then the second group is what we call irascible, which are emotions that come to play when we are faced with bad things or evil things. But before I get into that, just simply defined, emotions are the instinctive ways in which we react to situations. The way we react to situations instinctively is what we call emotions. Yeah. And that's why we can say that all of us have the 11 emotions, depending on what we are faced with and how we react. What makes the difference is how we control them. We'll talk about that later, is how we control them with our reasons. Because obviously, if we act only on instinct, we can go very wrong. Yeah. So how we control them using our reason, because every human being has that capacity to control the emotions. So what are these first six? That what we call the concupiscible, the ones that we have when we are faced with pleasurable things. We have love, and the opposite is hatred. Then we have desire, and the opposite is aversion. And then we have joy, and the opposite is sorrow. Love, desire, and joy are when we are faced with pleasurable things. Hatred, aversion, and sorrow are when the thing is evil, that whatever we have to face is something evil, that instead of causing pleasure, it's causing pain, it's causing displeasure, as it were. And then in the next group of five, we have hope, and the opposite is despair. Yeah, and that come to play when we are faced with a difficult good. It's something that is good that we are faced with, but it's difficult to acquire it. So we either instinctively react with hope or with despair. And then we have courage and fear. The opposite is fear, which is when we are faced with something that is difficult, a difficult evil, as they say it in philosophy. Yeah. So and then, sorry, again, the last one, which doesn't have an opposite when you're faced with a difficult evil, is anger. Yeah. Obviously, when we talk about emotions, many times we don't even remember all these 11. We talk about just a few. Probably we talk about anger, we talk about passion of love or whatever, but we don't go into the details of analyzing. When we talk about a person being emotional, we don't analyze all the